I know you're going to hear me say this until I'm able to change it. You know what their average rate of pay, federal tax rate is? 8%. 8%. I think you should be able to be a trillionaire, a billionaire, a zillionaire if you want, but pay your taxes for God's sake. Pay some fair, something approaching a fair tax. That's less than a teacher or a firefighter or a cop pays in their taxes. It's just wrong. Look, House Republicans should put us back on, shouldn't put
on them. We are the richest country in the history of the world, and there is no excuse, if we got our priorities right, why we should not be providing the highest quality of childcare for the little ones and to ease problems for their parents. Again, I don't have to tell anybody who is here that in America today, the cost of childcare for a variety of reasons is outrageously high and unaffordable to millions and millions of working class and middle class families. In Vermont, which I think it's about the national average, it's about $15,000. Here in DC, as your staff will tell you, if
families need to apply to receive it, and the size of the credit and eligibility requirements vary greatly by state. Vermont's $1,000 payment, for example, is reserved for children 5 and under and families earning $125,000 or less. In Massachusetts, existing tax deductions for dependents were converted into two refundable credits. These state tax credits are worth between $180 to $240 per child under 12 for up to 2 children in all families. In some states, the credit is non-refundable, which means it can reduce someone's tax liability as low as $0. Taxpayers must file a tax return to receive it. Others, including Vermont, have made it fully refundable, meaning that it can reduce a filer's tax liability below $0. Despite the plans, the bill is yet to be formally proposed and is being negotiated on across both sides of Congress. Folks, we have a ton of good news about the fourth stimulus check and Social Security benefits. Stay tuned because you definitely don't want to miss out on this. Social Security, everybody, provides monthly benefits to millions of retired seniors. Some of those seniors depend on the program for the bulk of their income, and that's proven to be a problematic thing this year in particular. Although Social Security recipients get a generous 5.9% raise going into 2022, at this point the rate of inflation is far outpacing that boost. That means seniors who live mostly on Social Security are losing buying power even at a time when they're sitting on a higher raise. But that's not the only issue with depending heavily on Social Security. In future, Social Security may have to cut benefits to the tune of 20% due to revenue shortfall. That could leave many seniors in the lurch. In the coming years, Social Security expects to owe more in benefits than it collects in revenue, due largely to an anticipated mass exodus of baby boomers from the workforce. The good news is that Social Security has trust funds it can tap to keep up with scheduled benefits. But once those trust funds run out of money, benefits will be cut back on the table. Meanwhile, the Social Security trustees recently released a 2022 report, and it projects that the program's trust funds will run out of money in 2034. From there, Social Security may have to slash benefit income guidelines. But due to the cost of living adjustment, some Louisiana households may see a decrease in SNAP and other benefits, according to the Louisiana Department of Children and Services. This has so far affected millions of people under the Family Independence Temporary Assistance Program and SNAP program as well. State officials have said that these benefits will decrease in January. The cost of living is already increasing every single day. But now, once again, food inflation is outpacing overall inflation. What this means, though, is that SNAP recipients in the state of New York will once again receive more than $100 in their monthly benefits. SNAP has been crucial for many people in New York, and households that are currently at or near the maximum benefit level, which is about $1,000 for a household of 4, will receive SSI payments of at least $100. Benefits will post between December 12th and December 31st. An estimated $234 million in federal funding will be infused into New York's economy as a result of additional benefits. Since January, the program has contributed more than $2 billion into the state's economy, playing a critical role in the state's economic recovery in the wake of the crisis. According to a recent federal survey, SNAP generates up to $1.54 in economic activity for every dollar invested in the program. So, as food prices affected the number of factors, including extreme weather and supply chain complications, it makes it more difficult for the U.S. government to use tactics like raising the rates to moderate food prices. A number of party and refrigerator staples continued to get more expensive last month. The latest data even shows this. Eggs were a staggering 49% more expensive through November, and butter prices also increased by 27%. Overall, grocery and menu prices in November and December continue to go up half a percentage point every single month. So we're only left with one option now. It's for President Biden to do something about this and sending out stimulus payments. because there is exciting news. The lawmakers have already unveiled a new bill. The bill will fund new programs. They aim to provide more relief to the low income across the country.
And the American people, look, I just say it this way. As soon as this week, your savings and your pocketbook could be directly impacted by this Republican stunt. It's as simple as that. Republicans say they will not do their part to avoid this needless calamity. So be it. But they need to stop playing Russian roulette with the U.S. economy. It's one thing to pay our debts already acquired. It's another to require a supermajority to pay the debts already acquired. It's not right. Let the Democrats vote to raise the debt ceiling this week, without obstruction or further delays. Democrats in the House have already passed a bill that would do that. It's sitting in the United States Senate where Democrats have the votes ready to pass it. That's the only way to eliminate the uncertainty and risk.
Okay. Madam President, on the day that this majority commenced its work, I promised that this chamber would meet the challenges that face our nation.
That's less than a firefighter or a teacher. It's wrong. And I'm proposing a billionaire minimum.
Now, what we're also going to say is that all the programs have represent the largest modern U.S. experiment in unrestricted cash payments, with more than 12,000 Californians expected to receive more than $180 million in public and private funds. Nowhere else have so many guaranteed income pilot programs launched at the same place. Keep that in mind, folks, because a new advocacy group actually doesn't want to let Republican lawmakers who oppose student loan forgiveness off of the hook. This Thursday, a nonprofit called Protect the Borrowers Action released an ad that criticized 13 Republicans and who voted back-to-back student debt relief. At the end of June this month and next month as well for August, the Supreme Court has struck down Biden's plan to cancel up to $20,000 in student debt for the federal borrowers. It came after both the House and the Senate passed a bill to take back Biden's debt relief that the president ultimately vetoed. So while Biden has announced a new plan to get borrowers relief during a different law, it's called the Higher Education Act, many Republican lawmakers don't even want to actually be carried on this. Biden acknowledged that delivering relief through the Higher Education Act will take some time because it requires the policy to go through a negotiated rulemaking process, which includes hearings and public commitment. Still, payments are scheduled to resume in October, but still, with interest accruing again in September. And while the Education Department announced a 12-month ramp on payments after the repayment starts, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is worried. Folks, more and more checks are expected to arrive for the Americans throughout the summer and fall. Lawmakers are agreeing to provide the low income with extra financial relief, and relief may either be in the form of a one-time check or direct deposit. But now, 2 rebate checks